Grandma's Syrian rice. It's simply the best rice you've ever tasted. Welcome to Help at Home, your resource for great recipes and easy learning. Today we're making Grandma's Syrian rice, and it simply is the best. It's been in our family for decades, over 50 years, and I'm 44, so you know this is a winner. You hardly need a recipe, but grab your pen and paper, here come the ingredients. 1 cup of long grain rice, it doesn't matter what brand. Half a stick of melted butter in your pan, and a box of vermicelli. Now, there's a heated debate. Is it vermicelli, like Italian? Vermicelli. Or is it vermicelli? Well, the truth is, yes. Because online, in my research, I found it both ways. And several times on the same site it was both ways. So however you say it, you're a winner. My family said vermicelli for years, so there you go. You got your butter melted. What is vermicelli? Well, vermicelli is just this kind of stick-shaped macaroni. So there you go. For 1 cup of rice, you need about half a box. Sprinkle out half a box. Turn your heat back on to about medium or medium-low. I find these flat wooden spoons very handy, so either way. Stir it around, your butter's already melted. You're just getting the butter on your vermicelli. What we're going to do is, the butter should be slightly foamy. If it starts boiling, pick up your pan and take it off. If your butter scorches or burns, maybe that's the same thing, you'll be sad because you'll have to start over. And this really is the best rice you ever tasted. Love you, Grandma. Put that down to my lowest setting, medium, low, or even low if that's what it takes. You want to brown the vermicelli, and so it may take 5 to 10 minutes. And sorry for that little, it's that funky electronic sound that this induction cooktop makes, but it's wonderful aside from that. So we'll be back when this foams up. I'm back because we're foaming, and I'm going to bring you in vlogger style because you still can't see it. That's why I'm not a vlogger. But see, it's bubbly, but it's not boiling. So you let it go like that for several minutes. Stir it about every minute or so, and you'll know when it's getting done because it'll start to brown. And that's what you want. You don't have to stir it constantly, but you can't set it and forget it either. I had to come back. This is just bubbling so beautifully, and it's browning, and so I had to show you that, and then I'll have to lift up the pan. Now, look at that. Oh, hush. You just hush. See, it's gonna, ooh, butter on the floor. Life happens, it'll happen to you, but you won't be showing people on TV. It's brown. You're almost done here. You need a good tablespoon of salt to flavor it. Now, what you do is you just pour that in to the small of your hand or whatever that is. Put it right on top of your rice. Dump your rice and salt right in. Stir it just a second. You need 2 cups of hot or boiling water. It works out best if you stick this in your microwave while you're browning the vermicelli so that you're ready to go. Turn your heat up to high, pour it in. It should go Now, you can stir it once. You get any off the sides there? It's boiling. Now, you turn it all the way down to low, cover it, stop, and don't do anything else. Set your timer for 5 minutes, and then come check on it. If it's on low, you can't turn it down any lower, but it should be bubbling slowly, and then we'll come back. 1 cup of uncooked rice makes 3 cups of rice cooked. It fluffs. So start off with 1 cup of rice, and once you've mastered that, you can move on to 2 cups of rice if you feel comfortable. It's really very easy. You need to make sure that you do have a close, tight-fitting lid. 5 minutes is up, and let's take a look. It has a slow little bubbling boil. That's what it should be doing. If it's not, turn it up just a little bit. But I wouldn't turn it up past medium-low. This is a slow cook. Now, cover it back quickly. Do not stir it. And set your timer for 12 more minutes. It has been 12 minutes. Now, that's what it looks like. See those little bitty kind of holes, little clam holes or whatever? That's from the water bubbling up. That's just what it's supposed to do. You put your spoon in there, lift up, kind of look underneath, and you don't see any water, so it's done. But here's what you do. Put your lid back on, turn your burner off, and let it sit and do what's called steaming. I would let it sit for 10 to 12 minutes. It'll only get better. And this is one tip that I think a lot of people really need, because they cook the rice, but then they're like, well, it's a little crunchy, or it's not quite as fluffy as I thought. I just can't cook rice. Yes, you can. Rice is kind of like a grumpy house guest. If you leave it alone, you'll be fine. But if you mess with it, it will mess with you. You have to know the particulars. Once you pour your water in, you can stir it one time and one time only. Put your tight-fitting lid on and leave it alone. Turn your burner from high down to low or medium-low, just enough to keep that slow boil. Check it in 5 minutes. If you need to lower your heat any, you can lower it. Then set your timer for 12 more minutes. Check it. Peel back and with your spoon, see if there's water left. You can let it go for maybe 1 more minute. Then turn off your heat, cover it back up, and let it sit for 10 to 12 minutes. It will be perfect. Here's one problem that some people have. They let it boil too fast and it cooks super fast, but once you take that lid off, you look in there, it's not fluffy. It's just hard, beady little pieces of rice. And that's because you didn't cook it slow and give it time for it to soak up the water. That's what it does. Rice is like a sponge, but it does have consistency. It's much better than mashed potatoes. It has been 12 minutes, and let's look underneath. It is perfect, except I had a little wah right there on the butcher block. And perfectly fluffy and nice and cooked. And it's not hard and crunchy or wet and sticky. So now the only thing left to do is to get a nice bowl to put it in. So here it is. All done, nice and fluffy. And it's rich and buttery and tender and has a little bit of salt, and it's just wonderful. It goes great with hamburgers, of all things. It goes great with roast or brisket or practically anything. But you can continue to use instant rice if you like. I'm sorry, I just had that reflex. I can't do it. But why would you when you can make this? One of our favorite spices is this Cavender's Greek seasoning. It's kind of peppery and it's just great. Sprinkle it over your rice. It's great on the individual servings. I wouldn't season the whole batch. I would just put it on individual servings on your plate. And it's something you can get at the grocery store, or you can get it on Amazon, and I highly recommend it. Just be careful because it is slightly peppery, but in no way is it hot. It's just delicious like this rice. So if you like this recipe for Grandma's Syrian rice, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe and share with your friends who like to cook or just want to learn how, or just want their first taste of the most marvelous rice you've ever had. Drop me a line in the comments below about your experiences with this recipe and what you'd like to see in the kitchen. Click the bell in the top right hand corner for notifications. I'm Jim Hightower, and remember, everyone needs help, even me. Welcome to, today we're going to tackle, boink, welcome to Help at Home. You grab your pad and paper, but you're hardly pad and paper. Here's what some people do. If you let it, here's one, it's kind of peppery and, well, yeah.